Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 192 of the Jiu Jitsu Dummies Podcast. We're brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, the top one. That's the guy who reached out to us. We don't want to say it on air. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, website design, SEO, Google Ads, social media, graphic design, printing. We can do it all. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. Request a free review of your online presence today, right there on our homepage. Joining us today is law enforcement officer and black belt John Thompson. He's the host of the Man of the Law podcast. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a black belt training out of South Florida. Got Ben Stark here to my right. We'll let him introduce himself in a second. Don't forget to like, comment, save, share, click the subscribe button. We appreciate all your support. Take it away, Ben.
Oh, hi. I'm Ben Stark, head coach of American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens. If you are in the North Palm Beach area, Jupiter, maybe even a little further north of that, and you want the absolute best martial arts experience and training that you could get, there is no better place than American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens. You can find us online, attpbg.com, or on Instagram at attpbg. Fun fact, we're the only academy safe school in all of Palm Beach County. So if you care about your kids, your family, go where it's safe.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Funny that I was going up to visit my dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I pulled out of my house and you were right in front of
it. Me and Ben are not close. We're not close in proximity to each other.
Like 7
And I'm just driving down the highway and I hear, "Hey, handsome." If I didn't have my windows down, I wouldn't have heard you. But yeah, it was funny seeing you. Yeah, I went up there. We've been up there a lot. Dad's doing good. Going home on Sunday. So
good.
On Father's Day. So
well, if you find yourself up there, I was only a mile south.
I'm still going to be up there a lot. Got to go up to the parents a little bit more and and help out a little bit. But Dad's feeling a lot better. So you mentioned Academy Safe. Academy Safe is doing really well. For those who don't know, Academy Safe is basically, people are starting to call us like the background check guys. I love that.
Cool.
Yes, that's one of the things we do, but we have 8 pillars that make an academy safe, including CPR, first aid, AD certification, having an actual AD on premises, security cameras, a whole lot more. We're just checking the things that you probably already have. I love it when somebody calls and goes like, I go down the list and like, got it, getting it, setting it up, renewing, like, they've already got those things done, which is a beautiful thing. If you look at our list, the things that aren't normal are the top line items. We're doing background checks on owners and staff, putting them through the U.S. Center for Safe Sport certification, and doing concussion training. Otherwise, everything else you should have. Mm-hmm. Business insurance, business license, again, cameras. Maybe not everybody has them. Smart to put them in. Again, CPR, first aid certification. And then we check the lineage. Yeah. Hey, did you actually get your black belt, or where did you get your black belt from? Certify your guys. If you're promoting your guys, you're able to, once we certify that you're your belt, or you've given us the documents or your certificate, what have you, then you can, vouch for your guys, and you're probably, belting or giving stripes to your guys. So there really isn't anything in there that's like incredibly strange. But I think, it's the first time somebody's doing it to this level.
Yeah.
Check us out at academysafe.org, get your people through the certification process. And then we give you an accreditation, right? You get a sticker or something like this with your accreditation dates. You get it we usually send you 3. I say front door, back door, front desk. Put those out. People will start asking what this means. At the end of the day, if you're making your academy safe for people, are going to feel more comfortable. I keep on quoting you on the whole background check thing.
Yeah.
Mentioning background checks to a parent, I see how almost always going to be like, what?
It knocks their head back. I think 3 times this week I had, youth trials come in. And I mentioned, hey, we're the only academy safe school in county. Like, what's that? Like, well, our entire staff is background checked. And I watched a dad go, like, give me,
like that's a
smug face. And like, yeah, we deal with kids.
Yeah.
It's important to background check your people.
There's probably
your bus drivers. They're all background checked.
I pretty much guarantee that there's probably no one that's doing the entire staff. If they are background checking just for themselves to put it up on the wall, they're probably not doing their staff. But we got a bunch of Academy Safe stickers for you.
Cool.
Got a bunch. Give them out to your guys. I have plenty more. So if you just want to give these out to your guys, especially the ones that have been through the process, I brought you some hats.
I'm not putting one on my head because I'll be turning.
I know that you don't.
No, I got a weird ass head.
Got some cool hats. Oh, sorry, right. You did the tan, black, white. I love the white. I'm always in white. I didn't wear it today because I don't want to look like a NASCAR guy. I like so many logos, but they're all
very cool. Thank you.
And give them out. I've got tons. Give them out to you guys. I'd rather like see them on people's heads and competitions and things like that. So again, check us out at academysafe.org. Use promo code JJD. FIVE. It's JJD5, but spell out the number 5, JJD5. Get a couple dollars off your annual membership. We'll move on to, go ahead.
John, can I ask you real quick? Do you ever tape your fingers and wrists like for training?
I never started taping and I never do. So I know people that tape every finger and wrist and their ankles. I've never taped and I still don't tape. Yeah.
Man.
I taped in the beginning.
Yeah.
When I was like in the beginning,
you had baby fingers.
When the first couple of times you get your fingers tangled up in somebody's key, and you're like, the next day you wake up like this. Yeah. Then I just I really didn't like.
But in my previous life, I was a union bricklayer, and I did that because my father was a bricklayer, and so I got into union bricklaying. So my hands were already kind of like kind of beat up a little, and kind of my fingers were kind of strong. So. Yeah, I was kind of used to the kind of grips and all that stuff. Yeah, it wasn't as bad. Yeah.
Big fight getting the knuckles all crazy. I let go.
Yeah. I don't
I'm not letting somebody get me all tied up in their gi. I mean, it happens, but
I've had some fat fingers that have, it'll be like that for like a month, 2 months, and then the swelling will go down or sort of go down. Yeah. So I've been there.
I do wake up like this.
Yes.
I got to give him a little crack. Yeah. And it takes me a little bit, but I think that's pretty much my whole body at this point. I think everything is like
you're pretty old.
Yeah. I've been my therapist has been great.
Awesome.
Well, my chiropractor who does physical therapy as well has been awesome. I did cupping for the first time.
Big fan.
Yeah, that was amazing. The lower back pain that I had, that sciatic, is pretty much gone.
Dude, it's so good.
I had to stand.
It does nothing, but it works so well for something that does nothing.
When he was going, he's just like, whoa, wow. And I'm like, what are you whoaing and wowing about back there?
You're purple.
He's just like, you could see it in the way the blood comes up. Like that. He's like, no one's ever done this on you before. I guess, does that clear up?
It depends. My worst areas or like my most used areas are always dark purple.
Yeah.
But then like the not so commonly used or hurt areas, they're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I did 8 sessions. I'm buying another 8 sessions. I just did my last session yesterday.
That's what we call sales.
Yeah. Check out Dr. Angel Rose in Coral Springs, Florida. Check him out. He's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. He has other belts in other disciplines. He's a martial artist. He's done other disciplines. So he's been phenomenal. I've gone to a chiropractor for years, and all they would do is the electric stim, crack my back, and then throw me into a half-hour massage. And I would basically go there for the half-hour massage. I paid $50.
Awesome.
$50.
Yeah.
I got those 3 things, and then they bill the rest of the insurance.
Cool.
For years. I went to this guy once. He's like, okay, let's do the shockwave first. Let's go over here and do some traction. Let's do the cup. Like, I've never done any of this other stuff before, there's
fast food and there's fine dining.
Yeah.
All right,
well, let's move on to Flow and Roll. Check out our friends Flow and Roll. Appreciate all the support. Hands down, the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business. You can visit them at flow_n_roll. Check out the custom designs they've created for academies and competitors across the country. One real cool thing that you can do with them is if you are a fighter, you need a couple of, maybe you're going to order like 2 pairs of shorts, a gi top with your sponsor logos on them. They'll do that stuff for you. So you can kind of do a one-off or, buy a handful. Great at doing custom designs for academies. You can even pick out one of their gis and then they can put all your logos. You can design it with them. Like, I want my logo on the back. I want a flag on the shoulder. I want the Brazilian flag over here, the U.S. flag there. They'll work with you on that stuff. So check them out. There's an order form right on their homepage, so flowandroll.com. Let them know the Jiu-Jitsu Dummy sent you. And for regular orders online, so if you want to get a belt or you're just going to get a no-gi kit or even a gi, 20% off your online order with code JJD. Okay. Last but not least, Wodify. Where am I? Wodify. I got my shirt on today. I did a walkthrough with Chris. Amazing platform. it's like many similarities to what I have for my marketing company, at least like workflow automation. So I'm very much impressed. You did a
Yeah, I did a walkthrough with him as well.
Yeah.
Very nice product.
Yeah.
Very strong CRM.
Yeah.
Lots of access, lots of ability to adjust and connect like from within. This sounds like gobbledygook if you don't use CRM. Yeah. But if you use one, there's so much glitchy, disconnected BS that really would make common sense to combine. And it seems Wodify has done that.
So for anybody that doesn't know what a CRM is, right, that's your either like most people would call it like a customer relationship manager, right? Not a content relationship manager, customer relationship manager. This goes right down to like, for the people that don't know, like when you use your fob or you check in at an iPad, right, that all connects to one big CRM. That's your billing. Some schools might have like, you got to reserve your time on the mat, let them know you're coming. They'll check it for, like how many times have you been there when they're looking at, belt promotions or stripes and things like that. But I mean, it basically can run the entire business, at least.
It is pretty much the entire back end.
Right? Yeah.
Everything minus your marketing. It's the entire back end.
They're definitely considered one of the top martial arts, if not the top martial arts gym software. You can get, like I just mentioned, automated belt and rank tracking, family account management. So if you've got a couple of kids, right, and again, you can sign them in, who went, little Bobby didn't go today, this guy went today, right? You can let the school know who's coming by just checking in. They have a content library, again, which I think is really cool for you. Does your current software have that content library?
Yes.
They have that too?
I don't use it, but it has.
Yeah, I like that. They mentioned about, as it relates to the content library, the really cool thing was, I think it was JT Torres works with uses their software. He was doing a seminar, and the move that he was showing, it was on a loop in the gym at the seminar that he was showing. So
that's cool.
They put the software, that video up on the screen, and while he was showing the move, so like, he was like, I had to walk around with 50 people here, or 50 plus people. I had to walk around and help people with the move. But some people were watching the screen and looking at, okay, look, see,
it's a good idea.
That I thought that was an awesome idea. I thought, and again, for you, I always tout your content. I love your content. Imagine having that content also uploaded there, or larger and longer videos of those moves.
Already uploaded.
Yeah. That's just another, just add it to another place. You could do. Upload, your technique videos, training resources for your students, and you could do it completely through their app. It's one of my favorite things about just working with them is that they're actually jiu-jitsu guys. Everybody that I've met is either a black belt and or a gym owner. Chris is opening his gym. Our last week's guest, Meru BJJ, MERU BJJ, if you want to follow him on Instagram. I love that part. I've worked with other companies. It's like, hey, they're sponsoring it, like, hey, do martial arts? No, jiu-jitsu, no, like kind of, they don't get it. Wodify gets it. So check them out at wodify.com. Let them know the Jiu-Jitsu Dummy sent you. New customers get $100 off per month for life. You book a free demo on their right there on their website. And also, if you ever see any like post or share a story, you can click the link in the story and it'll take you right to booking a demo. All right. There you go. I like that. All right, John, thank you for being so patient.
No problem.
I feel like, sometimes I feel like a NASCAR with the sponsor logos on and stuff. And I'm like, okay, let me not put one logo here, one logo here. Then we've got all the logos on the table.
I think you're wrong.
It's good. It's good to have sponsors though. Thank you guys. We appreciate all the support, but thank you for being patient, John. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys? Good to see you guys again. Good to talk to you.
Good.
I'm lovely. And I'm so happy to see you again.
Yes.
You do.
It's been a couple of years since we spoke, but I still follow you, and it looks like your gym is doing well and successful, and it's good to see. And I'm glad you guys started Academy Safe too. That sounds like a fantastic idea, and I think that's really going to do fantastic. I can't see it not doing well. What a great idea.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on your podcast and letting me talk about it.
I appreciate talking about me.
Did we talk about you a little bit? Yeah, we did. Listen, hey, we found our listener. So yeah, I appreciate you letting me come on and talk about it. You do an incredible job of putting out the content. I'm like waiting for you to, when you slow down a little bit, I've already got it loaded up to cut like some more, because I like to keep it going too. And I'll put like Academy Safe and Jiu Jitsu Dummies and do all the sharing too. And I'll hit you up as well. But How long have you been doing that podcast now? You do a really great job at that promoting.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years. I think I have 33 to 34 podcasts under my belt now, all within an hour to 2 hours in length. And it's kind of a side project that just kind of came from just training jiu-jitsu. And I was talking to Annette Stack and Andre Terencio, who are my instructors, and they were like, you really should get out there and promote some more. You're really, doing a good job as a law enforcement officer. You should be promoting, the benefits of jiu-jitsu. Because I was always doing that kind of word of mouth, but I was never a big social media guy. So I did get on Instagram, and then the guy who helped me set up my Instagram, he was a blue belt at our gym. And he's like a tech guy. So I was like, oh, I want to make sure I do this right. How do I set up my accounts and all that? So he helped me set up my accounts. He goes, oh man, you should do a podcast. You love talking to people about jiu-jitsu, right? And I'm like, I do. Yeah. So, and other people love talking about jiu-jitsu. Most of us, in the jiu-jitsu community, we could talk jiu-jitsu for hours and hours. And that's what we're doing right now. So I was like, no, I'm kind of an introvert. I'm not the greatest communicator. But when it comes to something I like, I will, I can talk about it, so, that's what I've been doing, and just kind of winging it, and kind of learning how to put clips together and, edit these podcasts, and what are good questions to ask, what are not so good questions to ask. Sometimes, like you guys, you don't really even need to ask many questions. You just kind of have a conversation and it flows, and you just kind of, let it go from there. So it's been a fun side project and really interesting, and really got me to meet a lot of new people in the jiu-jitsu industry and in the police combatives industry too. So it's been fun. Yeah.
My intention was always to make it more conversational. In the beginning, I used to have like 30 questions, and then I was just like, okay, on to the, we did it. It got us someplace, but then I realized I didn't like doing it like that. It was just
right.
fun when we got to know them. We got to know the guest, and then just shoot the shit. And I love learning. We all do jiu-jitsu, and we can sit here and talk about moves and all that stuff, but I love learning about somebody's life around it and how it kind of comes together onto jiu-jitsu, so.
Yes. And I'm a big history guy in general. So especially guys that have been doing it like 25 years, like my professor, I never had really asked him too many questions until I started talking to him. Like, well, where did you start? Like, where in Rio did you start? How old were you? And getting that background story, I'm like, that's interesting. I know you could submit me with all kinds of moves and stuff, but what was the history and the background that kind of got you there and got you where you are today? That stuff really interests me too. Yeah.
My, originally it was me and 4 or 5 other training partners. Just I asked them, hey guys, you want to do this with me? I'm gonna, just want to talk about jiu-jitsu. But the black belt junior that was part of this in the beginning, it was born from me, him, and my other buddy Mauricio. We used to go out on a Friday night, or maybe even after training, and get pizza, beers, and wings and stuff. And we would just sit around, and we would ask him questions, because had been training the longest. I think I was a purple belt at the time. Mauricio was I think just got his blue belt. So we would just ask him tons of questions, or he would just come up with stories. Hey, we might be talking about somebody. He's like, oh, I trained with that guy. Oh, funny story. Check this out. And for those that don't know, he trained at Pablo Popovich's, who got into a little bit of trouble messing with one of his students' wives. And now he went to Abu Dhabi. Right. So hearing about that before all the craziness happened, before Academy Safe and all that stuff, was we were just this, at a table, just in awe of these stories. And I just left one day, and I just said to myself, I'm like, that's a podcast right there. We got to record this stuff. White belts need to hear this stuff. And then and that was our tagline in the beginning. The podcast you wish you had when you were a white belt was our tagline to Jiu Jitsu Dummies. So yeah, it's always more fun to do it that way. I just like it to be conversational, and
yeah, and it usually just kind of flows, and it's easier. I usually just kind of have some bullet points on people, and if you did something kind of amazing in your career or something like that, I'll be like, oh, you gotta tell me about this, and then usually it just kind of flows from there.
Then Ben, one day we're doing the podcast, and he was just like, hey man, if you ever need a co-host, love to come. He never left. I just put him away in the closet when I leave.
It's a big ass closet.
We just put him in the back, and every time we come record, he's just here. Ready.
They feed me goldfish and cheese.
Yeah. But for anybody out there, Ben is awesome to have on a podcast. You're a very good communicator, and you got some great stories. So I loved having you on. So especially about, you talked about your, Muay Thai experience and living in Thailand and stuff. I thought that was fantastic. So yeah.
Right.
I'm waiting until Joe Rogan for me to really do the ones that'll get other people in trouble.
Yes. Save it all for then.
I hope somebody, I've never, I watched Rogan a little bit. So like people, you're just trying to be a Rogan. I was like, that was never it. I wasn't like a big podcast listener.
I don't have that kind of personality.
I might listen to I like listening to the comedians, and I liked listening to when he had like an MMA guy on that I knew that I liked. Yeah. But I wasn't like religious about it. And like, I always wind up coming like around to him again. I like funny stuff, and I like still watching the ones with the comedians. When it's getting into like vaccines and health and religion and
I have enough politics in my life.
Yeah, it's too much. I want you, make me laugh funny, man.
He does take some deep dives into some different areas that, some people are like, nah, this is just not my thing. Yeah. Right.
Pro wrestlers podcasts.
Yeah.
If you ever enjoyed pro wrestling, like as a kid, like I'm 44.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch wrestling like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the podcasts coming out from these wrestlers are fantastic.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, super.
You know what? I have listened to when he's had wrestlers on, and definitely like, and I know he's like a divisive guy, but Kill Tony, I watch Kill Tony as well. I think it's hilarious. I know it could be, some people think it's offensive. It's, if you understand that he's being a heel, that he's this wrestling fan,
right. It's the shtick. Yeah. Right. And that is a great podcast too. I watch it too. I listen to it. Yeah.
If you fully understand that he's being the heel and being a complete prick on purpose, you talk to outside of that podcast and they're like, he's amazing. He's so helpful. He's helping launch careers, all that good stuff. Right. So if you understand that, then you get it. Yeah. Sometimes it's offensive, but he's offensive to everybody.
It's kind of like everybody. Kind of how 90s comedy was. He's just kind of an old school comedian style. I know.
I like the same thing. I watch when they have wrestlers on. I make sure, I watch them all now. Now I'm like, but like his thing is, he has that. He produced.
He used to write for WWE.
He produced that. I think that podcast about McMahon. That was on Netflix.
I think that was fantastic. And I thought like, I don't want to watch this wrestling stuff, but I watched that thing the whole way through. I thought that was fantastic. That was a great documentary.
I've been a big wrestling fan since I was like, I had when I was a kid. And then when I was like in my late 20s, I got back into it again. And then once I found the UFC, it was over.
Like, get rid of this stuff.
Yeah, come on, this is fake.
This is the real metal. Hold on, fun story. When I was living in Thailand, there weren't a lot of places that aired the UFC. There's an Australian like sports bar on one end of the city. And I remember going out there, and there was a guy at the bar, and we were asking if the bartender would put on the fights. And this guy turns to me, and John Cena's on the television. He goes, why you want to watch that fake stuff when you can watch the real thing right here? Yeah. He was like, this dude thought the UFC was fake and that pro wrestling was real.
It was real. Yeah. Right.
Yes, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I got a good story. My wife's brother is a wrestler. Yeah. He has a wrestling school here in Florida. And he's
Olympic freestyle?
No, like pro wrestling.
Dude,
pro wrestling.
How cool.
So we would go, he has these events and like at he has like smaller events at his school, like in a shopping center. Mm-hmm. And then he'd also like get the Coral Springs Gymnasium at
what's that school off Oakland Park?
Yeah. I forget what those schools are. It's not the Coral Springs High, but Coral Springs.
Where the New Breeds are.
There was the high school. We rent out the high school, but it's not the high school, but what do they call these other schools that open up? Charter school. Okay. The Coral Springs Charter School. So he also had events there, but at his place, he had the Iron Sheik come in. He's friends with Iron Sheik. Has the Iron Sheik come in. He does something with a chair. And like something happened with the chair where he put his foot like through the back, kind of put his foot through the back of the folding chair, screws up his ankle.
Yeah.
The next day he's at my sister-in-law's house. I think it was around Thanksgiving. It was a holiday. Mm-hmm. So I think it was Thanksgiving. So like, they bring the Iron Sheik over for that. Now I'm not there though.
Well, that's going to be wild.
I'm not there. I'm like, oh God, come on. Why, I think it was at my family's house. Yeah. And then we went over there later and they're like, oh, the Iron Sheik was here. I'm like, oh man,
that's crazy.
How awesome. Like I did Thanksgiving with the Iron Sheik.
Bro, a drunk Iron Sheik at Thanksgiving.
You missed the Iron Sheik on Thanksgiving. Come on, man.
Have you heard him talk? Listen here, jabroni mother sucker. Hey, baby.
It was good. They were friends, and he would have. They don't really talk anymore,
Yeah.
but when we were going, like every once in a while, he'd have like somebody that was like relatively famous from back in the day at the school or at the charter school or at his school. So it was kind of cool. But John, going back to, I just wanted to say, like, congratulations on the podcast being around for so long. Most people, like, if you look up the average is like under 20, it's usually like 12 to 14 podcasts, and most podcasts are done. They don't continue that. So just, even, what'd you say? You're in you say you're in the 30s or even more than that?
Yeah, I think I'm at 33 or 34, and I've got 5 or 6 more people lined up. I've gotten, seminar stack is coming up. My professor's professor, who is Carlos Enrique, I'm going to talk to him. So it's still rocking and rolling, and I'm still happy to do it. So I'm glad. I know it's not the easiest thing to keep rolling, but people are still interested. People still say they like it. People still say, keep up the hard work, keep going. And I'm like, okay, I will. So
yeah. I think I introduced you to Seminar Stack, right? He's asking if you
yes.
Then I know that you're interviewing them, but Ben's asking if you're going up.
Oh, to the expo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't make the expo, but I did meet them at the Invictus conference, which was 2 weeks ago out in Lake Tahoe. So we got to have some face-to-face time, meet them. We got time on the mats together. Really great people. And, they're really doing great stuff with Seminar Stack. So I'm really interested to talk to them and get, some more details.
In Chicago, they have somebody that's part of their organization. I don't know if I made this intro. I love making the intros because I think you guys just, especially two cops talking to each other. Did I introduce Ish Lopez?
Yes, you did. Yes. We messaged also. Yes. And Chris, with your Academy Safe and her marketing. Yes. Message Chris also. Yeah. Rob Ingram also.
Do you have them all scheduled?
Not scheduled yet, but we're in the process. So we're trading some messages and some emails, but it's in the works. So I appreciate that.
Well, those are all some heavy hitters, man. They're heavy hitters in their respective industries. You've spoken to Joe Scargill before too, right? Yeah,
Joe, great guest, retired FBI agent, fantastic guy, doing great stuff down in South Florida with you guys. So yeah,
man, most people don't get even, out of the teens, man. So
I know. And I've asked some people to talk that I wouldn't think would say yes, and they've said yes. I had, Joe Gamaldi, who is the national vice president of the Fraternal Order of Police. And he's like, sure, I'll come on your podcast. And he's like a super fit guy into nutrition, working out. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to promote for you. And so if they say yes and come on, it's just been great. So yeah.
Guys, right. You're not just talking about jiu-jitsu for law enforcement, right?
I branch out a little bit too. Like, my main kind of goal with what I was doing here in Chicago is like, I'm trying to get police officers on the mat, training fundamental jiu-jitsu, and then police combatives also. And, part of that too, as being a police officer, I think it's, it starts with your fitness level too. You have to take care of yourself. We work swing shifts. We, have tough jobs, family life. There's a lot going on, but so does everybody else, so you have to take care of yourself, and, nutrition, fitness, jiu-jitsu, all of that is kind of, all kind of in the same family. And, that's kind of what we're promoted, and anything that's kind of, positive, for police and first responders, I'm always on board for that too. And, kind of started out with, just my little area of what I'm doing, but, I talk to people kind of around the circle too. And, and happy to do it. Yeah.
Still working with the EFC as well, right?
Yes. I'm still an EFC level 1 instructor. I teach the Effective Fitness Combatives class every Saturday at 1:00. So it's specifically for police officers, law enforcement in the Chicagoland area. And that's been growing too. We've started to get some few suburban police officers out, some other officers taking interest in it. So it's been good. Yeah.
So what's changed since we've spoken last? Not since I was on your podcast, because we pretty much talked about Academy Safe. But since the last time you were on, what's changed as far as law enforcement agencies, like, their approach to jiu-jitsu or bringing jiu-jitsu into, the academy environment and, continuing ed?
I think it's changed in some departments, not all. When I did go to Invictus, I, met some people that have been bringing in jiu-jitsu programs. One big one has been in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids has brought in Effective Fitness Combatives, and they've really kind of taken that their full program. And obviously, you still have things you have to teach with the state, and you can't have like a full Effective Fitness program, but you can bring it in on a large scale. They were able to get mat rooms in Grand Rapid and promote jiu-jitsu, promote training. So I think what's happening is that, people are getting promoted, and they're jiu-jitsu people and combatives people, and they understand the importance of it. And so when they get into these positions of lieutenant, captain, and higher up, they can start making these changes and, really bringing in the good grappling systems and promoting jiu-jitsu and the importance of it. And, just you guys are both jiu-jitsu guys, and, would you want, do you want a blue belt in jiu-jitsu showing up to your house? Probably, right? Like, you want somebody that's trained and fit and responding to your home to help you out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think at minimum you want a blue belt showing up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I kind of see it as a no-brainer, but with police departments, there's state regulations, there's, federal law, state law, all that stuff you got to kind of get through. But I think the big change is starting to happen. It's kind of a big ship to turn around all of a sudden, but it's working in that direction. And I think it's going to continue to grow. And I'm glad to be a part of it too with Effective Fitness Combatives. Yeah.
That Jay Wadsworth puts out from EFC.
Yeah.
He's I think there are a lot of people in the space doing a really good job, but on the content videos that he puts out, I think are pretty amazing.
Yes. Jay is one of the best in the business, and if not the best, I've met him, I've trained with him, fantastic human being, and the stuff I've learned from him is just fantastic, and it continues too. So he really just takes deep dives into all this stuff that have anything to do with police and police combatives, and he's just really excellent at what he does. Also, his partner Adam out there, and also Scott with LEO Combatives is also a great resource. So, but all their instructors are police or former police, and they're all high level and very good at what they do.
So, as someone who hasn't taken an EFC course, like, what kind of similarity are we looking at? A jiu-jitsu course, or are we looking at jiu-jitsu broken down and then reapplied to law enforcement?
That's a great question. So it's called combatives for a reason. They don't call it jiu-jitsu. They don't call it control tactics. It's called combatives because what a police officer could encounter on the street is more of a combative situation, right? At any time, it could be just low-level jiu-jitsu techniques, all the way up to striking, to going for your taser, to transferring to a firearm. So all those things you have to take into consideration. So basically, anywhere that fight can go, from striking to kicking to using a weapon, you have to take in and encompass. So they kind of take the best of jiu-jitsu. That's, what would work for our environment. We're not inverting into X-guard in EF combatives. Nothing wrong with that if that's your game, if you're a sport jiu-jitsu guy. But so we kind of take the best of the sport jiu-jitsu. They have some wrestling fundamentals in there also, striking fundamentals. And then, they kind of combine that with that weapons-based environment. Some of his big principles are, you have to be aware of your surroundings. We like to be mobile as police. We don't like to be connected. So there's positions we do get into that we don't get into, just to be able to, either connect to that person and be able to disconnect. So it's not just jiu-jitsu. It's really a full combative system when you look at it from the big picture of, what a police officer needs to do on the street, and kind of encompasses all those things. But jiu-jitsu is a big part of it. Yes.
So at what tier do you start using like the Imanari roll?
Yeah, we don't really have any tiers, but there's like EFC level 1, and that's kind of the fundamentals of police combatives, 26-week program. So that's what I'm teaching, is kind of the fundamentals. We break it down from week 1 to week 26, and then we go back again and work it again, just like a fundamental jiu-jitsu program. EFC level 2 is more of the combative section where, you would have to, do hooded box drills, which means you have a hood on, you open up, and then you're in this combative situation and you have to react to it. So it just kind of adds to the training of level 1, and see if you could put that training into effect, in more of the environment we're working in. So
like a level 2 setting. So like we've all seen like the red man suit.
Yes.
Classes. Like, are you really like scrapping it out with someone?
Yes. Yeah. And there's no red man. It's just your duty belt. And then, they wear the hooded box just to kind of protect their head, but it's just a grappling match, just like it would be. That's, so they don't do the red man. It's just a grappling match. And even in the EFC level 1, like it's very much like a fundamental jiu-jitsu class. If I'm showing collar ties, or arm drags to a back take, we work that arm drag to a back take and then to a single or something. And then at the end, I'll say, start, on an angle, 2-on-1. You have to get this arm drag, get to the back and take this person down while they're actively fighting you. I'd say we go about 80%, but it's really, you have to put it into effect. It's not just drilling it. You have to make it work live,
Okay. So sorry if I keep dawdling on.
No.
As an academy owner, you work hard to build trust with your students, their parents, and your community. But trust isn't something you claim, it's something you prove and earn. That's where Academy Safe comes in. We help academies like yours stand out with verified safety standards. Background checks for all staff, U.S. Center for Safe Sport certification, concussion training, defibrillators on site, CPR, first aid and AED certification, security cameras, rank and lineage checks, and verification of business insurance. Join the trusted martial arts registry that's redefining safety throughout North America. Lead by example. Show parents you're accredited with Academy Safe.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
You show up every day to change lives. You manage a million little details, all of them critical. We get it. We know the founder mindset because Wodify was built from the ground up, just like you. We know details because we fine-tuned every nuance of our own platform to make it work seamlessly for you. You need a partner who understands your business and a platform that helps you run it like a well-oiled machine. The founder hustle never stops, and you wouldn't have it any other way. We're Wodify. We're built to build you up.
Is your business getting lost online? Black Belt Digital Marketing is a full-service digital marketing agency that helps you get found, get leads, and grow. We specialize in local and website SEO, so your business stands out when customers search. Our website SEO makes sure your site loads fast, ranks high, and stays ahead of AI-driven search, so customers find you first. More visibility, more clicks. More customers right when they're ready to buy. Grow your business online with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com or call 9542-204932 today.
No, it's fine. Most people do have questions about this stuff.
We're talking about arm drags. Cool. I can see great access to the back. Like, are we trying to avoid things like underhook, overhooks because of the belt and the weapons?
No. Yes. We like to do, well, first, we always want to create an angle. So an arm drag gives you two things. It gives you an angle and it puts you behind the elbow, which is fantastic for law enforcement. So, but for the law enforcement one, I don't want to turn too much to the side. So I like to keep my hips facing their hips so I can watch that other weapon arm. So I still have a great position for wrist weaves, single takedowns. If they start to pull away, I can, snatch single. So it puts you in good positions for that. High underhooks, overhooks. We work on that stuff all the time. I was just working last week. We were doing wall pin defense. Most people have no idea how to get up off a wall, or even know they have to turn their hips, put their feet against the wall to not be taken down. It's kind of a common principle. You fight MMA up against the cage, and you've probably been doing it for years and years. But if you take a police officer off the street, they're going to go, "What? What do you mean I got to turn my hips and my feet and get an underhook, get an overhook?" Or I don't tell them exactly what to do, but I'll give them the vehicles. I'll say, get an underhook somewhere, get an overhook. You have to turn it around and pin them against the wall. So a lot of those fundamental basic stuffs of grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu are all in this program.
One of the things that I really love about
most police officers don't know how to pummel. Let's look at it that way. Just think about that. I have to show them underhooks. This is an underhook. This is an overhook. This is an underhook. This is an overhook. So most police officers come into class, I have to teach them how to pummel. I have to teach them how to break fall. Just like a regular, fundamental jiu-jitsu class. They know zero.
Yeah. Now, I would think head snaps would be big, head and arm, and like wrestling snap downs.
Yes.
Forces them to put their hands on the floor so they can't get their hands on you. And It gives you like good access to the back into safer positions.
Yes. We use those also. Yeah. In that kind of, I don't know exactly what the name of it is, like just from the front, just that basic, kind of shoulder crunch, just pull down, and it just takes them right down, and you have their arm trapped. That's very basic, but works very well.
Basic, man. They're the best.
And then the bread and butter are the body lock takedowns, because most of the time it's a grappling match. And if you can just lower your level, change your angle, body locks are fairly easy, because if I can pull off a body lock on you, then anybody can do it. So I teach them the basic grip and basic body lock. So the single officer working by yourself, a body lock is kind of the best thing you could do.
So you could suplex a guy?
I mean, you could do a mat return, but I wouldn't, it depends on the level of use of force, but a body lock takedown kind of looks pretty smooth on the street too. And you come right to the top and you control.
How much of that are you joking, or you actually?
Well, I mean, theoretically,
you're not going to be doing that. You're probably going to be, you're on a train terminal, like floor.
Yeah. Very efficient.
I mean, you're going to hurt yourself.
And we also practice, because most people don't practice this, and we don't do it in jiu-jitsu, but when you do a body lock takedown, as they get to the point of no return, you let go. Let them fall. You stay on top and control. And we usually do shin across the belt line, inside arm control. So we work a lot on body lock takedowns and letting go past the point of no return. So you don't go down with them. Because like you said, we could be on concrete, we can be on gravel. When you do just a basic body lock in the gym, you're fine. You're going down on the mats. But we teach our officers to release at the point of no return and then come to the top and control from the top. And that's something that needs to be practiced. Even I need to practice that, because I don't do that a ton in sport jiu-jitsu.
How much work do you guys do with partners? Is it like EFC level 1, you kind of working by yourself, and then you're going to learn how to work with a partner? Or maybe.
Yes. I also teach, part of the EFC level 1, 2 is team tactics. So I do put team tactics in there too. If there's 2 officers, 3 officers, we do high-low takedowns. But it all kind of blends with EFC level 1. So if you were doing the level 1 stuff, say like you were trying to do, a wrist weave takedown and you couldn't get it, then the second officer knows they got to go low and then do, just a basic high-low takedown, how to control the feet, the head, and where to go, and, what to do in that situation. So,
question, like gun retention, is that worked into like an EFC level 1?
Absolutely. Yeah. We teach weapon retention from the front, the back, the side, and in all those places. Absolutely. Yeah.
You guys focus on concealed or just like a sidearm?
Just your regular duty holster that we would be carrying on duty. Yeah.
I was watching one of VFC's videos the other day, and it was like addressing like you might have them from the back. You've controlled them from the back. You have maybe that body lock, but their arms are free to grab a weapon. Like,
yes.
We're addressing like, okay, in that moment, you've got to feel to see if they have a weapon, right? Like,
right.
Probably explain it better than I, but that was a very interesting video because you don't think about that. It's like, all right, I got position on this guy, but all of a sudden he's got a knife, he's got a gun, and he's taking it out and, trying to stab me, trying to shoot me, right. If somebody's in a desperate situation, they do really stupid things, but and
Jay always talks about being able to disconnect at any point too. And then when you are connected with somebody, I think he usually talks about you could either disengage and draw, but then it becomes like a 50-50. So if you're engaged with somebody and you can control their weapon arm, you're probably better off, because then, they can't get to the weapon in the first place. So it's kind of, but he works both sides of it, and he kind of works, what all the kind of worst case scenarios are too, and teaches us how to work with that. Every situation obviously is going to be different. It's not going to be, grab my wrist and I'll do this and blah, blah, blah. It's always going to be a little more dynamic, but the principles he puts in kind of, cover those bases of what to do when, the shit kind of hits the fan.
How has Chicago been with Chicago specifically? So Chicago PD, how have they been with adopting some of these principles? Are they, I've got to assume it's a lot harder than some of the smaller departments that we've had on where it's just like, we tell them what we need and they're, jumping in and sure, we need mat space. Great. It's easier to make a decision when it's, one or two people at the top making the decision versus, a very large force where there might be multiple decision makers. How has it been in Chicago?
Right. Yeah, I can't really speak for the academy because, I'm not out of the academy, but I definitely think they've implemented, some type of effective fitness combatives because that's where I trained it. That's where I got certified. I know they've done a few certifications for instructors. So I think it's, it's a process, obviously, because it's a big city and they're working it in and have to keep up their, their other mandates that they have to do for the state too. But that's kind of why I started my class on Saturdays because I think it's a lot easier for officers just to get the training on their time off and on a Saturday afternoon, and they don't have to wait for anybody with the training. The training's there and ready for them already. So, and that was kind of my plan.
So you're saying EFC went into the Chicago PD or went into the Chicago Academy? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Effective Fitness Combatives came to Chicago Police Academy twice, and they did 2 40-hour courses. I took one of the 40-hour courses, and that's how I got certified as a EFC level 1 instructor. So it was kind of called Train the Trainer. So like all the people from the jiu-jitsu community in the Chicago Police Department took the course, and, we all got certified. And that allowed me to, with Brazil 021, become a Effective Fitness Combatives affiliate. And so we're an affiliated school with them, a certified, academy with them. And so I can teach their curriculum every Saturday know that it's, good in the state of Illinois. It's called post-certified. So it's, we're teaching proper legal techniques in the, for the state of Illinois. So
what are the biggest misconceptions that you have when you're talking to another officer who doesn't do jiu-jitsu, maybe was involved with an incident, you're talking to them about hey, you should really come in. What are the misconceptions? What do they think this is?
Yeah, I really do think that's still out there with a lot of officers. They just, still do the karate hands when they're like, oh, jiu-jitsu, so it's, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't think they understand how important, number one, grappling is in the street. And, strikes are effective, kicks, you can use certain things, but if you look at the majority of it, you're grappling in working for position with another human being. And what is jiu-jitsu, right? It's grappling and getting to a better position. And so I think when I explain that to them, usually the best thing is they have all these misconceptions. They ask me all these questions and I say, just come in and take a class. And then when they take a class, the kind of light bulb goes off and they go, oh, okay, I get this now. So I think a lot of it is just maybe the fear of stepping on the mats, being nervous. They don't want to, have the ego hit. They don't want to be, the weakest person in the room. So I try and make them feel comfortable and just say, hey, come in, check it out. Everybody starts somewhere, and then they kind of see how important, the grappling is. And especially when they come to the Effective Fitness Combatives for the first time, they're like, oh my gosh, I should have been doing this, from the get-go. This is fantastic. This is exactly what I need. So most get it right away. Yeah.
There's no argument that can be made for not knowing how to grapple. There is zero argument.
No.
Yes, so the only argument that people have had been like, it's dangerous. You're going to kill somebody by choking them. People have died because they've been in choking positions. The three of us, we've trained in a lot of different places.
I haven't died once.
No one has ever. I've never killed anybody.
Yeah,
never.
If you know how to do a choke properly, I mean, people from 5 years old to 55 years old, thousands of them are getting choked out every night on the mats in jiu-jitsu places, and nobody's running to the hospital. I think more people get hurt going to Planet Fitness or whatever, LA Fitness, and they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they blow their knee out, and because they're unsupervised doing dumb stuff.
When I go to jiu-jitsu and somebody's got like something bandaged up and I'm like, oh, what happened? You're immediately thinking like, what happened here at the gym? You did. Yeah. And it's like, man, I slipped off the sidewalk, or I stepped on a Lego at the house at the kids. Like it's always something really stupid.
Yeah.
There's nothing to jiu-jitsu, but they're all like taped up or bandaged up. Things like that.
You can get hurt doing anything. And I always tell people too, if you are out of shape and untrained, and then you get into an incident on the job, you are much more likely to get injured than somebody who is in shape and knows how to grapple. So, the odds are, so the injury stuff, I think, is just an excuse. I think, you're always going to have that percentage of officers that doesn't want to train anyways, and this is not going to come. But the injury excuse is not, valid in my eyes.
I'm interested in the actual fitness side of it because, yes, you could teach somebody grappling, but number one, if they're not doing it consistently and they're not in shape or keeping themselves in shape in other parts of their life, just like eating right, walking, running, losing a little bit of weight, the police departments, I mean, once you get on, most departments don't have they might have continuing education, which is usually like once a year, 4 hours, something silly, but there's no you've got to qualify with your gun every year, right?
Right.
You don't have to requalify as far as your health.
Right. There are no fitness standards across the board that you have to, re-up with. Like, I think there should be a yearly fitness test, and you should have to keep up a certain fitness level if you are a first responder. It's just the way it is. If my mom lives on the 3-story walk up and she has an emergency, I want my first responder to be able to run up those stairs and get to her and help her out. And I think other people. So I think it's your responsibility as a first responder. This is the job you picked. This is what you do for a living, and part of that is being in shape for when these things happen. You don't have to be Superman. You don't even have to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You just have to, take good enough care of yourself and have enough grappling skills and do the, some of the basics. But some of the officers don't even want to do the basics.
Bottleneck for that though, or like the union, like you get on and then the union's defending you. Like the unions don't want that to happen, right? I mean, are they the bottleneck to that? Because I'm sure the higher ups would be like, of course we want everybody to be fit. But then it's just like, what are the fitness standards?
Right.
Okay. Do you get?
So I'm sure there is probably some union pushback on that too, because but we have some fitness tests and some fitness things that are incentives, like you get paid for if you do it, but it's not really big enough for anybody to really keep themselves in shape long term. But I think it's more of a personal choice too. You got to want to do it.
In Georgia. Do you remember that? Gwinnett County PD came on.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this part of the fitness side, and they did say that they got incentives, like I don't know,
extra time off. They got a pay raise.
Was it a pay raise or bonuses? Like you get
I know there was more money.
Yeah.
I think they got a 2% raise or something.
A bonus or a stipend for just going to the gym and
you get a whole extra week of paid vacation.
Yeah. And things like that help in a lot. I know in like Southern California, I think, because, the Gracie gyms are huge out there. I think you can go into like any Gracie gym as a law enforcement officer and almost train for free. You just got to sign in and like show them your police ID, and they're like, yeah, come on in. They give you like 50% off or something crazy. So like the Gracies out in Southern California, I know, do a ton of it, but I still think, and not a lot of officers take advantage of that either.
You know what the one thing is that we don't talk about is that it's also fun.
Yeah.
My therapy. This is literally my therapy. I just got back on the mat a couple of weeks ago. I think I've trained twice. I think this last week was maybe 3 times. I was hurt. My back was really bad. I couldn't train for almost 7 weeks. And I'm like,
yeah, it's depressing.
Nuts,
Yeah.
My dad was in the hospital. Even when I started to feel better, I couldn't train because I was going up to the hospital every day.
Yeah, and if you look at it, they have it for, a lot of veterans trained who have PTSD, a lot of other people that have, problems in their life, regular civilians, they use it as, we say therapy, obviously, I'm not a psychologist, if you need therapy, go to therapy. But just the mental health aspect for me is big too. I feel so much better when I train jiu-jitsu consistently, mental clarity, just in walking out of there, I always feel great. So it does have an effect on your mental health. I know that, just for me, it does. And I think it's fantastic.
Well, there's nothing better than going to hang out for an hour and a half with a bunch of buddies and we try to kill each other.
Yeah.
I mean, in its simplest form, like we're simulating murder. I jokingly tell people that, it's the most fun I have all day. And then there's something to be said, depending on your academy. Like I'm there for an extra half hour bullshitting with a bunch of the guys and the gals.
Yes.
There.
Almost as important as class.
When I realized how important jiu-jitsu was mentally, I believe I was still a white belt. It's where I met, my first gym is where I met Drew Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And that group of guys was friends with my coach. My coach ran a PTSD, they were all part of a military or veteran PTSD group. And he offered all of them, anybody was welcome to train for free. He didn't even for free.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
One time we were on the mat, we were stretching, and one of the guys walked in and he was having a really bad day. You could smell the alcohol on him. We're in that circle stretching for 2 hours talking. Realized we knew what was going on. This guy needed help. He was in trouble. He was having showed up in his gi, he was ready to go. But when we realized he was drinking and he started talking and he sat down, and it just wound up all being about their military service and stories about what had happened to them. And, about some stuff, and not necessarily crying, but like seeing like how upset they were about other things. That's when I knew. I was like, oh, this is something different. And no complained that we didn't do any jiu-jitsu that night. It was just like,
exactly. And you're like, this is what needed to happen.
Wound up doing no jiu-jitsu. I realized how important this was. That hours was, and
I always promoted as a police officer trying to get other police on the mat. But, if I quit the police department today, I would still go to jiu-jitsu tonight. The community I have in jiu-jitsu is like no other. I mean, even last Saturday, I was going to help clean the mats, and these two other guys got it. They're both doctors. So I'm like, oh, the two doctors are cleaning the mat. The guys that probably make the most money in the whole gym are there like scrubbing the mats at the end of class. You have doctors, accountants, and it runs the spectrum of political stuff too. And we all none of that matters. When you step on the mats, it's all about jiu-jitsu for us. And, some of the friendships I have in jiu-jitsu, I would never like even think about outside of this, because we're kind of totally different people. But when we get to meet on the mats, we aren't really that different. We have different political beliefs, different education, whatever. But, it's really kind of a, great dynamic. And, some of the people you meet and train with in jiu-jitsu are just fantastic people.
I love when the stoner comes in and then like eventually he gets around to like rolling with the cop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've smelled the weed on people too. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you got to do what you got to do, I guess. Right.
It's legal, bro. It's legal.
Yeah, it's legal. It's legal. If you want to take a few edibles before class, that's your prerogative.
Who do you party with?
Me?
Does your department, well, I know we asked this question. I know the Gwinnett County guys, and they were like, it was easy to track. I know you might not be as involved. Like these were guys that were running the academy, but
yeah,
I'm not sure if you have ever looked at like the use of force cases. Like, have they gone down as people train more jiu-jitsu? I mean, it feels like, I don't want to say feels like, we know that it's happening in the smaller departments. Like they're able to track a little bit more easily.
I haven't seen the numbers from Chicago specifically. Usually what I look at is the FBI data. If you go on the FBI data website, they pool everything together for the country. So I kind of look at the overall country stuff. And also New York, I look at a lot of New York stuff. I just spoke with CJ Delaney from, he's out in New York, he's out in Long Island, and he's a big stats guy too. And we went over some stats. So I don't know if they have gone down, but I know the vast majority, if you look at use of forces across the board, is, it says hands, feet, and fists. So that's basically grappling. You're basically, so almost 90% of police, uses of force or altercations are a grappling match. You're fighting somebody. Hands, feet, or fists, or a grappling match. So that's the overwhelming one. Those are the ones, you might not see as much, and sometimes somebody isn't actually fighting you. They're just actively resisting you to try and avoid being arrested. They're trying to get away. So those are the big numbers. If they have, gone down here, I don't have the numbers on that, but, I can only speak for myself, but I think, jiu-jitsu, knowing how to grapple has, made my job a whole lot easier. Just being in positions to control somebody before things get out of hand. And, there is no major use of force because we controlled the situation before it even happened. And there's no reportable use of force. And that happens a lot too with highly trained people.
With the popularity of jiu-jitsu having been growing so much over the last 10 years, have you noticed on the street, like the people you're arresting are trained?
Yes, and that's growing too. And there's a large population of people that have some basic jiu-jitsu skills, Muay Thai skills, boxing, wrestling. You have a lot of athletic people out there too. So when you go to arrest somebody, they might have some training experience, or they might just be watching the UFC all night and know enough to try and shoot a double on you. And if you don't know how to sprawl, and this person's 25 years old, drunk and athletic, you might end up on your back with them on top of you. And that's going to be a problem. So I think that's happening across the country a lot more too. You have a lot more trained individuals that, you can encounter.
Do you think that might kind of full circle it back to more firearm use by the police?
I think if you're untrained and you get in a situation that somebody that had some grappling experience might just see as a grappling match, but if you have no options, you're probably going to reach for your firearm, I'd imagine, because if you're out of options with your grappling, you only have one option left, right? So,
all right, I have a question for you, John. I watch on Instagram a lot for work and for personal, and obviously it's so for work. So I tell my wife, it's work. It's work.
I'm working on Instagram.
They're making ads. It's for you,
right?
So I'll be watching a video of a cop like struggling to like arrest somebody or just in a really bad position, and in my mind, I'm like, oh man, or maybe we see somebody jump in and help them. But
but you're like, I would have dumped this guy so easy.
Yeah,
simple. Yeah.
So to a guy like me who would, if I saw somebody if I saw a cop, I knew it was a cop and getting into a scuffle and he was having trouble, I would go to try to help.
Yeah.
How do I introduce myself into the situation? Because that cop might think that I'm this guy's friend and I'm like, who am I helping here? How do I, as somebody that knows what I'm doing, introduce myself into a scenario where, hey, listen, officer, I want to help you. What does that look like? Has that ever happened to you? And what would that look like? What is your advice to somebody like me who's a dummy and going to get involved?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I would say, you do have some citizens that come out to help. I've seen the videos of, trained people coming out to help officers and it's been great. I would just say, communicate. You got to communicate. Hey, officer, I train a little bit. Do you want my help? I can help you out. Just tell them, hey, I'm here to help. And just be loudly communicative about it. And, if they say no, or they say they have backup coming, you don't have to, get involved if you don't want. But, I would definitely, try and help them out because you do have, a lot of skills and you could help them. But I just say be very clear and communicate before you get involved in anything. Yeah.
Usually wearing something that's related to jiu-jitsu so I can just
right.
You get the,
yeah.
sick and I can crap. You need some help.
Remember so there was just a video of the guy from Chicago, and he subdued someone on a plane, and he got great press over it, and he had the jiu-jitsu shirt on. And I'm like, I have that jiu-jitsu shirt. I have the exact same one, because that was the IBJJF Chicago jiu-jitsu shirt that they gave out. And I was like, right away, I was like, this guy is a black belt. He trains in Chicago. I know who this guy is, because he competes at IBJJF Chicago, and he was the one that subdued this guy in a plane with absolute ease, talking, not even breaking a sweat. Like, I got this. This is not a problem, because he was trained and skilled, and that just shows the power of jiu-jitsu. But there should be more videos like that, really, to promote it. And I'm like, I wear my jiu-jitsu shirts all the time. I never make it on TV, so. But yeah, so stuff like that is good to see. Yeah. And sometimes regular citizens that are trained do need to step up and do that. I'm not telling anybody to get involved in something, but sometimes it needs to happen.
Yeah. Like the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm not going for my phone, which seems to be the default for a lot of people. It's like, let me record this.
Right.
Because they're going to put it.
Somebody will record you getting killed. It's crazy.
Only could want to put it online later, not because they're like, let me collect some evidence for this cop. No, they're like, it's doing it for a stupid reason. Everybody wants something to go viral. But I feel like I would get involved, and I've always thought about that. What if he thinks I'm not trying to help? How do hey, I'm training jiu-jitsu. Can I help? Like, it feels a little corny to say out loud.
I've seen,
if I'm going to help this guy, if I'm going to save this guy's life or help him, and it really,
but that, communicating that might be like enough for him to be like, him or her to be like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, give me a hand. All right.
I've seen quite a few videos where like the guy appears, the cop's already wrestling, and the guy appears just like, do you need a hand? He's like, yeah, grab his legs, and then But if you just jumped like, who the fuck are you?
Right. Yeah. So I would just communicate properly. Hey, I'm trained. I've got some jiu-jitsu experience. Officer, do you need my help? I will help you. And, if they need your help, I think they would probably be more than happy to do that. Yeah.
So what else is going on, John? I'll open it up to you. What do you have going on in and around the world of jiu-jitsu? Are you still actively, like, do you go back to EFC? Are you getting like leveled up in EFC? Do you still train?
Yeah. I'm looking to take EFC level 2 if they come back to Chicago. Most of it has just been doing a lot of stuff, mat time. EFC curriculum is so in depth and so much there. Being a black belt, I can, kind of implement it, but it's still something I need to practice out a ton too. Show it to my students, do it over and over again. So really just, I've been doing that, just really promoting the EFC stuff. I still teach fundamental jiu-jitsu 2 nights a week, just key class to regular civilians. Still enjoy doing that. And, that's really kind of taught me how to teach. Most people don't talk about that too much, but I didn't know how to teach classes. I didn't, know what I was doing. And, my instructors, Andre and Hannette, they kind of just said, hey, start helping us assist here, start learning how to teach if you want to do it. And so that was a help, and really helped me kind of learn how to, teach different types of students. Advanced class, EFC class usually isn't too hard, but teaching a fundamental jiu-jitsu class for anybody who does it, it's like, you could have a 50-year-old soccer mom that's never come before. You could have 2 competition blue belts, and you have to make that class like kind of fun and interesting for everybody at all levels. So it's, and I've taught somebody how to break fall and, technical stand up probably 1,000,000 times, but I'm still happy to do it and still enjoy doing it. But I think the fundamentals class is probably one of the hardest classes to teach in the jiu-jitsu realm. What do you guys think about that?
I like it. I didn't think I would. But once my missus is out of town, so I got a couple weeks to myself. So I've really been like buckling in on like syllabus building and curriculum building. And I wanted to really formalize my fundamentals for both my striking and grappling. So once I sat down and started and like, really, what do you need to go into the all levels class? Like, so you can come in and the verbiage won't be weird, and you'll know what the positions are. And when it's time to do situationals or go live, you'll have one option offensively, one option defensively from top and bottom in every general place, Mm-hmm. Once I did that, I go, okay, So really, we're going to do one thing a day. You know, on Wednesday this week, we did how to acquire knee on belly, popping up, a 2-step method, how to get out of knee on belly, and how to get back to your guard when someone's trying to knee on belly you. And then you got to go, how do I create? This is like what I took from, I guess, the ecological method. So we've just learned some drills. We've learned some specific techniques. Now, not let's go roll, especially not in a fundamentals class. You know, we don't really know how to roll, but what kind of games or dilemmas can I program explicitly geared towards what we've been doing for the last 45 minutes? So they still get their live action. It's just segmented into this little thing.
Yeah, just more structured. Yeah.
And so I'm hitting these regular. I'm like, oh, wow, this is developing way quicker, you know, because for ages, it was just like, oh, yeah, you want to try a class? What day works? And they just come to all levels.
I usually go train on Mondays and Thursdays are like I don't want to miss days. Mondays is everybody tries to show. We call it don't miss, like hashtag don't miss Mondays.
I stole that from you. I use they post
don't miss Mondays. It's like everybody wear black. And on those days, I brag about this a lot. I think it's an amazing attribute to my gym is there's usually about 15 black belts on the mat on a Monday.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
All of those black belts are encouraged to to teach. The rest of the week, those black belts, when they come to class, they'll be the main instructor, the owner or the main instructors, and they'll ask a couple of black belts like, hey, you have something from here you want to show the class? It does a couple of things, right? We learn while we teach.
Yeah, it's cool.
Teaching them how to teach. You said before you didn't know how to teach, right? So you learn how to teach just by, you got to do it. At some point, you got to do it just like jiu-jitsu. At some point, just come into the class, right? Like you said before. Yeah. My favorite class is when I go on Thursdays. I have that opportunity to show a move most Thursdays. It's usually a younger group. It's actually, we have a lot of like the kids that are transitioning out of the kids class. So we have a lot of like the kids. There are plenty of adults as well. It's usually a smaller class, especially now in the summer. Kids go away. Right? But anyway, like that Thursday, I hate missing that day because that's when I get an opportunity to teach. To show a move on a Thursday than on a Monday because there's so many black belts. But it's usually myself, the main coach, and I love showing a move. But talking about the fundamentals part of that question, I love teaching the fundamentals because it almost always reminds me of something that I'm doing wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like, when we're talking, I like to do this hand's here, this foot's here, this foot's here. Where are you in relation to the other person? Where are my grips? Where are my feet? Because I think a lot of times we might show a move on Wednesday. I went to Wednesday's class and purposely I asked the coaches, they were showing a move where we're all on one side, like in a semicircle. They're showing the move with the feet away, and the feet were a very important part of the move. And I'm like, hey guys, can you show me what that looks like from the other side for the benefit of the class, right? So things like that. Like I like showing the fundamentals because it reminds me where, like, it makes my fundamentals better. Because what do we kind of forget sometimes? We start rolling or we're coaching. You kind of forget the fundamentals a little bit,
and you stick to your favorite moves. Yeah, exactly.
Favorite moves, whether pulling guard, taking down, whatever it is. The fundamentals wind up getting me into a place where I'm just like, I'm remembering the little mistakes that I'm making when I'm rolling. So I really love that. And then I just love when you teach somebody something and then at the end of the class, when you're rolling, they actually hit that thing or they thing and they look over you and they might smile like
I got it. Yeah.
I usually yell if I hit the move of the day or I see somebody else hit a move of the day, I yell, move of the day.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah. And I think a lot of the times too, it's I'm sure it's a problem at a lot of gyms too, but teaching fundamentals, like once, they can, our students can go to the advanced class once they have 2 stripes, which is fine. But usually once they get their blue belt, they kind of jump on the advanced train and they don't want to come back to fundamentals. And I'm like, you still need to do fundamentals. And, I think there should be more blue, purple, brown, and black belts, at the fundamentals class, not just at the advanced classes too. Because I think fundamentals never ends. If you can perfect the fundamentals, you'll be just fine in the advanced class. And you could pull off the fundamental moves in the advanced class. And
I do a little bit more of an advanced move. I usually I usually give it to them in 3 ways. So if it's a submission, or like maybe I'm advancing my position to something where I've got I've got my forearm across their neck or something, but I'll usually show it in 3 ways. I'll say, for your friend, for the aggressive training partner, for the street. Like,
Right.
this is how I'm going to do it. My buddy, I'm going to be real nice. If I'm going to put my knee on his neck, I'm actually going to put it maybe on his jawline, and I'm not going to sit on it so hard, versus the aggressive, like maybe a spazzy guy or a gym bully. I'm putting my knee on his neck, and I'm going to make sure that he's going to tap. And then what would you do in the street? Again, probably be a lot more aggressive with it. So I show it to them, and it's a little bit of a joke in my mind, but I do show it to them like friend, spaz, street. So
Right.
I like to have fun with it, especially when it's a submission. Like I like to show like when, that you can get your arm, under the neck for a rear naked choke this way, or you can give it to them right here, grab their nose. Right. So again, what are you doing, buddy? Spaz,
Right. Yeah.
Good one for you.
Yeah.
I call it.
Yeah.
You remember the old can openers? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to explain, but you'll hate it.
For what?
Great.
For what?
Forgetting the neck.
Oh, forgetting the neck.
Yeah, it's not. Nice.
And then the silly for that same position is you're going under, just tap their head. Just tap their head and it opens up. It's the silliest thing. It's like, it shouldn't work.
Right.
You just tap their head and you get the arm completely underneath. It's the stupidest thing in the world that you'd be like, that doesn't work. And you'd be like,
yeah.
That's
Dude,
every time.
I do want
Yeah. Last week I went to Invictus LEO. If you don't know what that is, check out Invictus LEO if you're police officers. So it was police officers from all over the country. We had DT instructors. We had officers from white belt to black belt. So this collective is like, it's by Ari Knazin. If you don't know him, he's up in Canada. He started Invictus LEO, and it's just a collective of all law enforcement officers that are, really promoting jiu-jitsu and combatives. And there was a ton of black belts there, a ton of high level people. And most of the stuff I learned there was like details to fundamental moves, small details to fundamental moves where I'm like, oh, I've never seen that small detail. That's fantastic. So it wasn't like this crazy, like, let me show you this crazy, move or whatever. It was like small details to some fundamental moves. But like, if you do this small detail, it's really going to improve your triangle or your arm drag and being able to take the back, if you do these small things. So I thought that was really amazing too. Because sometimes, the high level people just do the fundamentals and have the small details just done very, very well.
Agree or disagree? 2 black belts here. Agree or disagree? Like at this level, not like, like a switch went off when I got my black belt, but as I advanced, I do take more to what you just said, getting the little nuggets that make my game better.
Right.
Wanting to learn some like really crazy, maybe elaborate move that my body maybe just can't do, inverting, or, I'm open to watching or trying anything. But at this level, I want the nuggets. I want the little things that make my current game better.
Yes.
The devil's in the details, right? Like I like Super Flash, but I want to like know how it works so well that I can advance it into other things or combine it into others. But I notice much more with like my teaching and how I'm wanting my guys to perform is way more basic oriented. Yeah. It's just safer. It's more structured. Well, Javier was talking about the other week, like we're going where we know it works in a way we know it works. And there's no reason to deviate from a proven plan.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of like, it reminded me a little bit of like Hadra Gracie, right? As well. Like, the basics, like I watch every one of his videos when they come up on my feed, or
Gracie's surprisingly funny. I don't know if you follow his social.
And his famous choke is a cross collar choke that most people learned in their first few weeks of jiu-jitsu, but he has perfected it, and it's a savage choke.
I think a cross collar at Black.
I don't know the guy's name, but I think it's his actual student. Is super famous and has got like 1 million followers. I think he's got like either high hundreds of thousands.
Yes, he has more like kind of comedy videos and stuff. Yeah, yes, and he trains under Hadra Gracie. Yeah,
but he's like a purple belt now.
Yeah. He's funny.
I think that's his actual student because he's done a ton of videos with Hadra Gracie now. I think is like
It'll be like a clip of something else, and then like a clip of him like rolling his eyes, going, "Oh, like yeah, right, yeah."
That guy got famous off of those, but now it looks like he's a purple belt under Roger Gracie. So now I've been seeing him more like on Facebook. I feel like I was seeing a lot more of his instructional stuff or like classic videos of him. And now, because I followed that other guy, I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. I'm seeing more of Roger Gracie, and now I'm getting more of Roger Gracie stuff.
Have you seen this? There's a guy, he's recently popping up, Man on the Mat. He basically interviews fighters or high-end jiu-jitsu players and like and roasts him, and it's while they're sparring. He's hilarious.
That I gotta check out. I don't know if I've seen him. No. Man on the Mat. Okay.
In the suit, he gloves up, shin guards up, in a suit. He spars these guys in a tie.
He's fought women too. He's done it with women.
He fought a trans fighter out in I think Colorado. He's fought a bunch of women from like the UFC or Invicta. And funny watching him because early on he didn't know a damn thing, and now he's not bad.
Yeah,
he's pretty good. But I mean, he's still fighting guys that are like in the UFC, and they're just kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Dude,
but while interviewing them, he's legit in an interview with them.
Like gets kicked in the stomach, steps back. He's like, "Oh, this must be what it feel like to whatever," and like talks some shit. I was like, "What? Wham!" And they just keep scrapping. It's definitely worth the watch. I strongly suggest.
That's funny.
I've mentioned this guy probably every other podcast, but again, with like getting nuggets, I really do love the Grappler's Guide with Jason Scully. We mentioned him, I think, when we talked on the last episode.
Does Scully ever do in depth? Because most I know from Scully is like 20 arm bars in 20 seconds.
Yeah, bow. So you got Grappler's Guide, you got the free stuff that he puts out. He started a channel called Jiu-Jitsu in Minutes, which goes back to like trying to like show you something obviously a little bit more more quickly, because like the real format, the real
that's kind of like format, this right? I put out.
So that's a separate channel, but then you have the full instructionals. People don't realize that it's more than just those videos. I think those came first.
They're the bait.
80 arm bars in 10 minutes, like, right? And it's just like variations. It's how I figured out like what the next thing was that I wanted to try. Like I would just watch a video and be like, as soon as I saw something like the 40th video, the 40th move, because they're really quick, I would be like, oh, I'm always there. And then I would rewind and go look at how to do that. Not a full instructional, but like, okay, and let me figure that out now. Oh, I'm always there. I didn't know that submission was there. So the grappler, the actual Grappler's Guide, grapplersguide.com is like a kind of a BJJ's instructional kind of thing. I believe he still does it. I paid for it. I have the lifetime membership at $97.
Yeah.
$97. You have access to anything that he's put out or that he will ever put out on the Grappler's Guide. And then he has the striking guide. He has all these other ones.
Yeah.
But he started with those, like the jiu-jitsu style, or a whole bunch of moves in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And that evolved into, well, let me like invite other people on, do instructionals. So he's got a lot of famous people that have done instructionals. A lot of the guys that we know before they were really famous. I think he's got like Craig Jones. I think he's got Nicky Rod. I think he's even got, Gordon Ryan and some of the bigger names that are like huge now. But he had all those guys, and you can find those instructionals on the site. So again, I believe it's still the same, where one lifetime price. There's never a time that they ask you for more money. And I still have that, but I mostly watch the YouTube stuff. So there's value in it, period. But yes, he does have like longer video. He does. And then he has, other people come on and record. So, I definitely think it's worth it. John, let's go through. I don't know when the last time was that we did the drill down with you. We're going to go over the most popular questions that we get that are the most often submitted to us. Let's go down this. We call it the
drill down.
Now, Bo, did you see the last episode? Bo put his drill down.
Oh, did he?
Drill down. We have a logo for the drill down.
Yeah.
You got to watch. There's a logo that comes out of the drill down.
So like, if I just go like, he's just going to put the drill down.
It goes, it's his voice and the logo. He does it.
It's a good voice.
It was funny because you were like, I'm going to do it. And you go, and then it's his voice.
That's kind of what I expected him to do, to be honest.
So we're going to go through you can feel free to elaborate. This is kind of more of a speed round, but
let's drill down.
Okay. So preference, gi or no gi?
Lately, no gi. I've been really enjoying no gi more. Yes.
Okay. Takedown or pull guard?
takedown.
Favorite submission?
Triangle from guard. Just pop up that triangle. One arm in, one arm out. Out.
Music during rolling, yes or no?
Advanced class, all levels class, fundamentals, no. But we do put some music on in the advanced class, all levels. But fundamentals, it's a little more structured, a little more serious.
What kind of music?
I'm sorry?
What kind of music?
That's a good question. Sometimes, most of the time, because I'm old and 50, I guess you would consider old. So usually I ask one of the students, I'd say, hey, hook up your Bluetooth and play whatever you want. And just, so whatever the kind of newer music is that they listen to, I don't even know what it is, but they don't want to hear like my, 70s, 80s rock or, my 90s grunge stuff,
I like to put on.
They don't want to hear Creed.
No one does.
Creed?
No, Metallica, Pearl Jam or whatever. But I like 70s music too. And, so 70s, 80s, but nobody wants to hear that really. Unless they're our age.
You're 50 now?
I'm 50, yes.
Oh, you're still a baby.
Oh, yeah. Still got plenty of time. Yeah.
What would you be doing? I usually ask, what would you be doing if you hadn't found martial arts? But what would you be doing if you hadn't become a law enforcement officer?
Oh, I'd probably, I was kind of working my way up in construction at the time. I had become a project manager. I was with a kind of large demolition company. So I'm sure I would have stayed in, project management in the construction demolition field and stayed with that in some aspect. Yeah.
What got you to leave construction, especially if you were at a project manager makes a good living?
Yeah, I was making good money, but it was 6 days a week, long hours. It's a tough business. And then a little thing called 2008 happened, and the economy really took a dive. I fortunately still had a full-time job, but I really personally did not want to be tied to the up and downs of the economy in the construction real estate market. I saw how fragile that was. And just how, tough and competitive it was at the time. And, my employer still kept me on, but we were pretty thin for work too. And I had always kind of wanted to be a police officer. So in 2008, 2009, I started applying for other police departments and getting on their lists. And my family thought I was crazy. I was in my mid 30s and I was going to be a police officer. They're like, what are you doing? My whole family's in construction and, it was kind of the thing to do. But I was like, no, I want a different career. This is something I'm interested in. And I'm glad I did it, because now look at, where I am now. It's a totally different life.
Were you doing any martial arts before you became a police officer?
Zero, none, no. And that's really how I got interested in it, because I was like, man, I got to learn how to defend myself and protect myself. And that's how kind of the jiu-jitsu and law enforcement came together. Yeah. So I don't know if I ever would have even taken a jiu-jitsu class if it wasn't for, me getting into law enforcement. Yeah.
You just really want to cuddle with dudes all the time?
Yeah. It's like to grapple.
So do you watch a lot of stuff online? Are you a consumer of all this content that's out there? And are you watching jiu-jitsu videos and instructionals?
I do. Yeah. I have kind of like some main pages I go to. I like the Kit Dale stuff. What's the other one? Absolute mixed martial arts, or absolute martial arts with, was it Giles? Ladchik Giles? Lachlan Giles. Yeah. Lachlan Giles. He has some really good fundamental instructional stuff. The way he explains things is very good. So I kind of like going to him if I want a breakdown of something and or I'm missing something myself, because he has really fantastic breakdowns. I like the Kit Dale stuff too, because I like to mix up my fundamental class. So I like to throw some of kind of like the eco stuff like you were talking about. Just some basic stuff. Like I'll have them start standing and be like, complete the circle, we call it. But it's like just putting your hands together, whether it's a front headlock, your hands together, whether it's a single, your hands are together, or it's a body lock, your hands are together. So they start kind of putting the concepts together of like, oh, I have to get a position and put my hands together. So like stuff like that I look at, and it kind of gives me ideas, and I kind of steal it and put it into my class in like a small way,
Very cool. Ultimate goal here in martial arts and or as a police officer, where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years? Or really sometimes I ask it in this way, like, what do you want your legacy to be?
Yeah, I'd like to retire, obviously in one piece. I don't want to get, I want to make it out of this career, not killed or indicted. So hopefully I make it to the end of my career with a pension. And that's a little Chicago humor there, probably.
So
And so I have another 6, 7 years left minimum till I can reach retirement. I might stay longer than that. I want to continue to kind of advance my career, but jiu-jitsu is a big part of that too. And then, if I can, leave with a decent pension and then still continue to, be part of the jiu-jitsu community, part of the police combatives community in retirement, I would love to do something like that too.
All right.
The police career will end, but hopefully the jiu-jitsu career, I'm going to, push as long as I can, as long as the body's still working. I want to be on the mats. I love it.
I'll let Ben ask the very, very last question. Do you remember?
the one I just asked a second ago?
No.
What question?
What's the most important question
sorry.
that we ask on this show? Hold on. Let me get you on video asking this one.
Do you wash your belt?
Oh, yes. I remember the famous, do you wash your belt? Because, all your juju is going to go away. I do wash my belt. I've always washed my belt. I'm kind of like a germ guy. So I like to full defense soap wipe down, when I leave the mats, and then full, defense soap shower when I get home. But my wife thinks I'm a little crazy, and she goes, "Well, you've never had staph or ringworm." I'm like, exactly. That's why. The products can be a little harsh on you, but I think it's well worth it. But yes, I wash my belts. They usually fade. I remember my blue belt I almost had for 5 years, and it was almost like a white belt again. Like that's how long I had my blue belt. It was like almost white. So it was. They were like, "Man, we got to give this guy a purple belt. He's almost back to a white belt."
When you found out that not everybody showers multiple times a day, does that gross you out?
Yes.
It ruins my day.
Yeah, because my wife's like, what are you going to take 50 showers today? And, because I could train in the morning. I might have a class in the afternoon, like on Saturdays. So I might shower 2 or 3 times on a Saturday. She's like, how many showers are you taking? And I'm like, hey, as many as I need, So yes, I'm kind of like a clean freak like that. And I have no problem with taking 2 or 3 showers. Yeah. But when you're on the mats all the time, you got to do it.
I shower before, so this is an interesting little tidbit. So I'll shower before I go, like right before I go. But if you shower before you go to no-gi, you're like, you don't have any like the oils on your skin.
Yeah. You're very grippy.
I used to go on Saturday mornings, and I'd shower before I left. And I rolled with somebody one time, and like we would just start drilling, and we were like legs were like, I'm like in guard trying to pull.
Too frictiony?
Yeah, it was like so much friction. And I go, I could smell. I'm like, did you just shower? And I go, I did too. And I'm like, do you feel that's weird? You don't have any of like the sweat or oils on your skin. Think about it next time, right? That happen to you? Like you don't notice that if you shower and then go right to train, if you haven't worked up a little bit of a sweat and you start, grappling with somebody, or because it was open mat, so we just go stretch and go.
True.
So,
I would say I'm normally sweaty before rolling.
You would be like the friction was very evident.
Did you hear that? Milton is just getting friction with his boy.
Yeah. Let me ask a full-time jiu-jitsu coach, because like Ben, you probably do your classes plus private lessons, and like how many times do you have to like change gis, change rash guard, shower during the day? I mean, you could have like
I can teach, finish, shower, and then next set of teach, finish, shower. So I've minimized, but there were points in time where I've took 3-4 a day.
Do you have a shower at the gym, or are you going home?
No, I gotta go. Oh, luckily I live 2 miles away. So super close. Yeah.
Right.
And I went to this Invictus thing. Like I usually, when I travel, I just bring a carry-on, but like I had to break out my like check-in bag, because they're like 3 days of all jiu-jitsu, 8 hours a day. So like there was 3 days of gi, all this no gi stuff. So like I had to like pack all my jiu-jitsu stuff. It was like super heavy in this like check-on bag. I was like, forget traveling. So if I do travel, I think no gi is so much easier for laundry. It just makes your life so much easier.
One of the craziest things I've heard is people buy a kimono, and I'm like, all right, here's how you care for it. Wash it cold, hang dry. And the like, okay, like every time you use it. And they're like, what do you mean? Every time you use the gi, it goes in the wash and gets washed. And they're like every week? Like, no.
Every time. Yes. I've had to have that conversation with my students too, because they'd show up to a class and I'd be like sniffing and I'd be like, did you not wash your gi? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you need to wash your gi every time you're on the mats. Yes.
We had a guy called Stinky Steve.
Bro.
He would take his gi.
Everybody's got one. Somebody has to have that tough conversation with him.
This is probably one of the worst that you'll ever hear. Stinky Steve would take off his gi, wrap it up, tie his belt around it, throw it in his trunk, and drive away.
In like the hot summer heat.
Took that gi out of his trunk, came in, put it on. He was thinking,
you're not allowed.
It was the worst.
No. I'd be like, you must go home now.
For those of you who don't wash your gear, we can see the obvious brownish hue of your gi.
Yeah.
Seeing it regularly. If you can smell it, we can smell it.
Right.
By that, you just put the gi on. You're probably going there. This stinks a little bit.
Yeah.
If you can smell it, we can smell it. So just watch it every time.
We can't be friends. You can't hang out here. No.
All right, John, we're going to wrap it up. Let me give you a second. If you want to give any shout outs, tell everybody where your gym is, mention your Saturday class for law enforcement. It's your time.
Yeah, absolutely. John Thompson here in Chicago, Illinois. So first and foremost, I train at Brazil 021 Chicago. So we're located at 2643 West Chicago Avenue. The two instructors there that are my instructors and some of the best in the world is Professor Andre Terencio and, multiple world champion, ADCC champion, Hanette Stack, one of the best in the business. I get to train with her, almost on a weekly basis. She's always in town and always training there and just a fantastic instructor and taught me a ton. And then we also have a new location, which we opened up in Arlington Heights. So if you are in the suburbs and you're looking for some training, check out Brazil 021 Arlington Heights. And then, of course, my Saturday class in one of my most, prized possessions that I like pushing on officers, check out Effective Fitness Combatives. I'm an EFC level 1 instructor and I teach every Saturday, 1 p.m. Again, every Saturday, 1 p.m. at Brazil 021 Chicago. You don't have to, pay anything or do anything. Just show up, try it out. If you're a police officer in the Chicagoland area, check us out and be more than happy. And if you don't train with me, you can message me on Instagram and I will tell you where to go train or where it's safe to go train or where they have an Academy Safe sticker. And it is good to train there and they're decent people. So I'm always willing to help law enforcement officers get introduced to training and good training. You don't have to train with me. That's fine. Train close to your house, train with somebody else, but just seek out good training if you're a police officer. That's the key.
As an academy owner, you work hard to build trust with your students, their parents, and your community. But trust isn't something you claim, it's something you prove and earn. That's where Academy Safe comes in. We help academies like yours stand out with verified safety standards. Background checks for all staff, U.S. Center for Safe Sport certification, concussion training, defibrillators on site, CPR, first aid and AED certification, security cameras, rank and lineage checks, and verification of business insurance. Join the trusted martial arts registry that's redefining safety throughout North America. Lead by example. Show parents you're accredited with Academy Safe.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
You show up every day to change lives. You manage a million little details, all of them critical. We get it. We know the founder mindset because Wodify was built from the ground up, just like you. We know details because we fine-tuned every nuance of our own platform to make it work seamlessly for you. You need a partner who understands your business and a platform that helps you run it like a well-oiled machine. The founder hustle never stops, and you wouldn't have it any other way. We're Wodify. We're built to build you up.
Is your business getting lost online? Black Belt Digital Marketing is a full-service digital marketing agency that helps you get found, get leads, and grow. We specialize in local and website SEO, so your business stands out when customers search. Our website SEO makes sure your site loads fast, ranks high, and stays ahead of AI-driven search, so customers find you first. More visibility, more clicks. More customers right when they're ready to buy. Grow your business online with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com or call 9542-204932 today.
So when I'm going to let Ben do his final spiel here as well. But John, don't hang up. We're going to come take some pictures by the screen here for promo when we're done. But Ben, take it away.
First and foremost, follow me online, MMA Coach Ben on Instagram. I post all sorts of cool stuff from fight commentary, instructionals, clips from the show, and the happenings.
You've been doing breakdowns of combat nights, some of the combat night fights that you commentate on.
Yeah. My wife talked to a fortune teller over in Taiwan, and she said by 2027 I will be wealthy and famous. So I'm figuring you got to push.
Yes, you're almost there.
So
don't forget the little.
I won't.
Don't forget us little guys.
Don't worry, I'm not going nowhere. You're gonna tolerate me forever. So
have us on your podcast, Ben.
Make Coach Ben, and of course, and not limited to, you guys don't use finger tape, but I do because I got girly fingers and wrists, and there's a lot of us out there, and there's only one tape to do it with, Milton, and that's fight tape. FightTape.us on Instagram. FightTape.us is our website. Get the absolute best in fight tape and gauze. We even got a little bit of apparel going on there. You want a dope ass t-shirt?
There you go.
It's all there. FightTape.us. Use promo code JJD to save 10% on your purchase. And gosh darn it, just go get some stuff.
All right, there you go. You can check me out at Uncle Milty BJJ. I have made it private because I'm whatever.
I wouldn't even know because I'm already friends.
You can check me out. You have to at least be doing jiu-jitsu to follow me on my personal. But I do that on purpose now. If you really want to follow me at Jiu Jitsu Dummies, I'm the guy behind that handle. I'm answering all the questions. I'm doing all the posting. My team does some of the posting. I do the reels and put that stuff out. So I will answer your questions. Give me some time. We do get a lot of questions there. Check out our producer, Bo. At Badworks with an E. At Badworks, he does some awesome video production, and he's been working on the podcast now from the very beginning. We're talking about May was 7 years.
Good.
This is what nice. This is 192 or 193? I forgot. I think this is 192.
So you're coming up on 200 episodes of Jiu Jitsu Dummies?
We're coming up on 200.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's awesome.
Like 20 shows ago, though.
That's about as no. You've been on more than 20, right?
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what to do on that 200th episode. I'm thinking,
yeah, that's cool, man.
Having the guys come back on, if I can get some of the guys that, or at least one or two of the co-hosts that I had from the very beginning.
I think it's going to have to be a drinking podcast.
I'm going to figure something out. We got to do something special. So any ideas that anyone has is
let's set up at Texas Day Brazil. Let's set up a table in Texas Day Brazil, and we'll have a food cast.
Yeah,
people can just listen to
it's not. Look at all this. It's not as easy to do that. I've been invited out to do podcasts at events or even to commentate. And I'm like, it's not the same. It's not as easy. Like, but we'll figure something out. I think we'll figure something out here and get it all recorded on a regular podcast. But John, again, thank you.
Maybe you can have Joe Rogan on your 200th, and that'll be the big,
Be so lucky.
Yeah. I don't know if we can.
Hey, Joe Rogan, check out these guys. They're fantastic. Come on the 200 show, please. Come on.
Guy. I appreciate that, John.
Yeah.
Same for you, man. You're doing some good things in this world. I love talking to people who are doing something good with this whole, martial arts and jiu-jitsu thing. So
yeah, supporting other people doing good things, does not hurt me at all. So I love supporting other people. It doesn't cost me anything and it doesn't hurt me either. So I'm glad to do it. Happy to do it.
Part of the secret, laws of attraction, right?
That's right.
Keep yourself around, you surround yourself. Well, what's the saying? There's a saying like, show me your 5 best friends and I'll show you who you are. Right? Something like that. Right. So I love being around people who are, spreading positivity in this world with all the negative shit that goes on every day.
Yeah.
And, on the Academy Safe side, I've got to hear the negative stuff. So it's good to look back at this stuff and these conversations and the people that I've met. Look, everyone that's on the board for Academy Safe was somebody that I interviewed way before Academy Safe was even an idea. So I've met some really great people and heavy hitters, and it's been quite a ride. So I'm excited about the 200th. John, I don't know if you know, I've got 2 grandbabies on the way. I got twins on the way. My daughter's gonna be popping out twins, and
congratulations.
Wait to get them on the mats. I bought them little outfits that says jiu-jitsu loading.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, all right.
Rolling her eyes yet?
Well, yeah. All right. We're going to leave it there. John, again, don't hang up. Thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me. Much appreciated, guys. Always good to see you guys.